Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of On Prepping. On Donner, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen.
It's the Polar Express.
The Polar Express is actually a good show. I'm kind of watching one show on YouTube and watching that show at the same time. Okay, this is a prepping video, or this is sort of concerning prepping. We're just not prepping.
Hard time.
Yeah, we're having a hard time, like my wife just said. And, I mean, I don't want to sound like an idiot by saying, well, you have to live today sometimes and not plan for the future. The thing is, you never know what the future is going to hold. And, if I told you, if I could remember the number of times people have said, well, the economy is going to collapse tomorrow. It's going to collapse next month. It's going to collapse this fall, this spring, this summer, this winter. And it hasn't done it.
But it could have a lot of times.
Yeah, that's very true. But to me, I'm open to whatever possibility. It doesn't have to be a financial collapse. It could be anything. And no, I don't have my ring on right now because I was in the kitchen preparing food.
Watch out, Lucky.
I didn't want it to get stuck in the food. And then
lose it.
Yeah. But are we prepared? Sort of. I mean, I haven't done any work on our kits in a long time, and I'm not going to.
Right now, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a financial issue, although that's a major issue. For those who don't know the situation, since, I don't make a whole lot of prepping videos, and I don't know if this video is actually going to get many views or not. My wife has cancer. She just started chemo. You got a tortilla there, eh, Lucky?
Oh, God.
He holds it so it's in his face so he can't see what's in front of him.
I don't know if he's going to like it or not.
Yeah, it's kind of old and stale and dry, but...
Hard.
Yeah, so... Lucky, are you going to just hold it there? Anyway.
Damn.
So, my...
Is that good, Lucky?
My first concern is my wife's health, is my wife's well-being.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie.
It's been a challenge.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it's like, we get one thing figured out and then something else comes up. But, I mean, I realize that may be the situation we're in right now, and so, it's just accepting it. It's not a matter of giving in or anything like that.
I may need your help tonight.
Okay. It's just, this is what's going on, and that's the way it is. Okay, please don't scratch so much.
There's no our nerves, it's his nerves.
Yeah. So, do we have bug-out bags? Yeah, we have bug-out bags. Frankly, at this point, what's in them, I have no idea.
Can we carry them?
Yeah, that's another issue. Could we even carry them? I'm considering, long-term here, considering what I got my wife, which is an LBV, a load-bearing vest. For myself, although I'm not sure that would be too practical because of the way my kit is organized.
Right now.
Yeah, and right now it's just, it's my wife's health. It's my wife's well-being. I'm not gonna...
I could even get it on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna... If something happens, and we have to do whatever, we have to bug out, we have to bug in, we have to do this or that. It'll happen, we'll do what we have to do for ourselves. But I'm not going to put my wife through a bunch of HE double hockey sticks to prepare for something that we may not have to be too concerned with, and she couldn't do it anyway. I mean, frankly, at this point, if we were in a bug out situation, we wouldn't be bugging out, we'd be bugging in. And because of the animosity, not from me so much, not from us so much, but from the brown shirts and Keene toward us.
Yeah, if we're doing something wrong or we're not.
No. I'll provide a link concerning how those people feel, and you know, but
Yes, I said stupid.
you know, I would be concerned about us bugging in, because I would honestly, if you know what hit the fan, I would expect something bad from them, really bad from them, because we know what kind of people they are. This guy, definitely not a man, this guy who kidnapped Lucky.
Hey!
Abigail Hernandez out.
Quit barking at me.
No, not you, sweetie, at John.
Well,
Um,
quit barking at everybody.
and
Shut up.
to the east, to the northeast, when he got arrested, I remember they were talking about some of the things he said and done, and he sounded just like some of the activists around here. That's scary. I mean, if you really think about it, that's scary. And
he sounds crazy.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he sounded like Ian and like Garrett and like what was that idiot that we stayed with? Kurt. You know, he says the same kinds of things they say, and that's just scary. You know, and he says he's nonviolent, yet he kidnaps a little girl, and you know, the King Brown shirts say they're not violent, they're nonviolent, yet they pull guns on each other and beat each other up and stuff. I'm like, who's the non-violent one here now?
You have to watch them all the time.
Yeah, we do. We have to be on our toes. I mean, I don't worry about them, but we do have to keep them, you know, keep in mind that we're close to them, and they know where we live. For a number of reasons, they know where we live, because we used to be one of them. You know, they've been out here. Some of them have. Not many, but, you know, a few.
And they want to badmouth us.
You know, oh, and they want to accuse us of the things they're guilty of, but we're not guilty of. But anyway, enough with those idiots. You know, bugging out and prepping in a more generic sense, insofar as making sure we have canned food, bottled water, that we can do, but I'm not putting our money or our energy or our time into that at this point, because we have no gas. My wife has medical appointments that she has to go to, and we have no gas. We cannot get into Keene because we have no gas.
They don't care.
No, nobody seems to care. I'm not saying people don't, but you know.
They don't.
And so.
The brown shirts don't.
No, yeah, exactly. The Keene brown shirts don't. You know, and I'm from Franco, Spain. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about these people. You know, I know what scary is. But you know, I mean, we have bottled water, we have canned food. I really can't tell you how long it would last or not, because again, it's something I just have not had the. My concern is my wife. My concern is not collecting all this stuff, you know, so as to be prepared. But for those of you that, and I'm not, I still will occasionally watch a video on prepping of some sort, but it's not a priority. It's not something I do often. You know, I mean, if it's having money for gas to get my wife to and from appointments, or having money for ammunition or canned food or bottled water, that money goes to gas to get my wife to and from appointments. That money goes for medications. That, I mean, honestly, a lot of the time, you know, I get home and, you know, I mean, we went, like, what was it, this past Monday? You know, we went to the appointment with the oncologist, and my wife had a really, not just a bad reaction, but a really, really bad, yeah, extremely bad reaction to the chemo, because they said, what was it, 10 to 20 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes usually. That, you know, if you're going to have a bad reaction, it'll take about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20. But it was going on and on. I mean, it was well over an hour. Yeah, and finally they said, we're not equipped to deal with this. You're going to the ER. They called down there beforehand, you know, so they knew we were coming. So, and because the doctor called and said, get her in, they got her in, even though we had to wait in the waiting room for about 5-10 minutes. But we got down and we didn't get out till like 11:15 p.m.
Well, it really pisses me off is other people in there want to act like they're so bad off, but they're nothing compared to me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you're idiots.
You know, one kid, you know, he's probably involved with the Keen Brown shirts. He supposedly got hit by a car, and you know, he and his girlfriend just decided to walk out eventually. I'm like, you want the care, but you don't stay for the care.
Well, I mean, other women who act like there's, oh, I'm hurting so bad, I'm hurting.
And my wife has pain.
No, you're not hurting. You're just faking it, bitch. I'm about ready to tell her that, too, right to her face.
So, we're just not doing, you know, look, if we did have to bug out, we would, we couldn't really. I mean, we really couldn't do it. My wife just couldn't do the physical work that would be necessary to do it. It's that straightforward. It's that simple. I mean, it would be easy to say, well, you know, we can hike for 5 miles or 10 miles. I don't think my wife would make it half a mile. And I don't mean she would have to stop and take a breather. She would collapse. To say she would collapse is putting it mildly. I mean, you know, it's just, my first concern is my wife. Yes, prepping is an important thing, but you have to prioritize. And right now, prepping is not a priority. Right now, my priority is my wife. I think most people will understand this. I'm sure, you know, they're that, what was that idiot's name out in Washington or Oregon or wherever? Something Smith, I think. Yeah. I'm the apex predator. Oh, you're nothing.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. He actually reminds me of some of the activists in this area. But, Tyler Smith, that's his name.
I would have got shot.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's one of those that would have lost.
Didn't he eventually wind up in jail?
Yeah, he's in prison. He's back in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he happens to like little girls. Like the video I'm going to show you, I'm going to share with you.
Yeah.
He happens to like little girls
Some
too.
stupid asshole around here does.
Mm-hmm. Now I was looking at that organization's YouTube channel. You have 40 or 50 views on your videos. I'm like, my goodness, you can't be that. You're not making that much of an impact. But anyway, um, oh, and what was the one thing I saw? I don't actually go and look at the videos because I was looking. If you go the video that I'm going to share with you, if you look at the videos on the side, you'll see some of that organization's videos, and there's one video or comment or something about was it Generation? What do they call this group? Generation X.
Yeah.
The Generation X is going to save the world. Excuse me, but our generation, we said the same thing. We didn't save the world, and we fought. I mean, we're baby boomers.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You guys don't. I mean, we've been around a lot longer than you have. We've seen a lot more than you have. And I've lived on 3 continents, and I tell you what. But prepping is just not. How would I put it? It's definitely not a priority
For them.
for thought-wise. Thought-wise, prepping is up in the middle. I mean, it's in like the middle range, but the action of prepping, actually doing it, is very low. It's below that. It's like thinking about prepping is the most that I'm going to do at this point, and I'm not even putting that much thought into it, to be honest with you. Maybe not even in the middle. Maybe it's further down too. Now there is a form of prepping that I'm trying to do, but that is for my wife. That's medical supplies, medicines, whatever, medical equipment, resources, that kind of thing. But it's not, like that box right over there.
I'm glad you're willing to do.
See this crate, you can't really see it. Socks is on top of it, but it's a clear crate with a white lid. Well, we have one that has medical supplies in it, and that's our medical supply. That's our prepping medical kit. The thing is, we can only get so much. And yes, I'll tell you how we get some of the stuff. When we have a medical appointment, or like we go to the emergency room, I don't see anything. We're paying for the stuff. So I just kind of put something in my pocket. I mean, it's not medicine. It's nothing.
It's medical supply.
Yeah, it's medical supply like bandages and gauze and stuff, tape. But another thing I'm doing, I haven't done it in 2 or 3 months, but because if all blank broke loose, I would not have access to. I'm trying to find the medicine. It was right up here, but the way things get knocked down.
Thanks to cat.
This medicine right here, 5-HTP. I buy like 1 or 2 bottles a month. You can get it at Walmart, and you get it at Walmart for more than half off what you would get at like Blueberry Fields or the King Food Co-op. You're paying $25, $35 at Blueberry Fields, and you get it for 9 something at Walmart. That's more than half the price. I want to get seeds for the plant that 5-HTP is made from. The thing is, the only source I found so far has approximately 15 seeds in it for like $8.
Can't really get it.
Yeah, and it's like, where am I going to grow it? It's a tropical plant. Where am I going to grow it? But melatonin, I also try to get melatonin, another thing I haven't gotten in 2 or 3 months. But both my wife and I could use the 5-HTP. The thing is, we could not take this with the 5-HTP because it would cause some serious problems, I think, with the liver. Kidneys or the liver. Now, we don't need that. especially not my wife. I'm willing to take more of a risk than I'm willing to put her into. But so I guess, because when we can, we do, get an over-the-counter item or something. That's prepping, I guess, but it's on such a low scale that doesn't really count, in my opinion. It just doesn't. Um, and like I was saying, people have said from, oh my goodness, the 70s. I'll probably remember it from the 60s. I probably didn't really understand it back then, but I probably heard it more than a few times. That back then it was going to be a war between the United States and the Soviet Union. Never happened, thankfully. Well, there were a lot of little wars, which probably were worse than if we would have had one big war, but thankfully we never had that nuclear war. The problem is those nuclear weapons are still out there, and people are still building them. But, I've heard time and time and time and time again, the economy is going to collapse this fall or this spring or this summer or this winter, and it hasn't happened. The economy does keep getting worse gradually. Will it collapse? I don't know. We don't know the future.
It seems like this winter has really been a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I see her dog goes barking again.
Oh, her dog always barks.
But anyway, so I think it's important to be aware of what's going on, but there's only so much a person can do, and everybody is in their own situation, and no one happens to be in our situation with us. You may be in a similar situation to us, but you're not here with us, we're not there with you. So I just don't think most people are in the situation we're in. And frankly, if it came down to it, as well, it has come down to it, and that is a choice between prepping for something that may never happen or taking care of my wife. I'm going to take care of my wife. So I mean, to me, that's, pretty easy to understand, but I don't know. And I don't know what else I can say. I mean, would I like to be able to prep? Yes and no. It's not something that I want to have to do. I think it's important that people do it if they can. But, we're also a bit older than a lot of the preppers out there. And we're older than a lot of the activists, including the brown shirts. And we have our own health issues. And well, I can go and buy a box of ammo. It's 100 rounds for like $40, $39, 37, $8. Or I can spend that money on taking care of my wife. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to take care of my wife. I already have some ammo. No, ammo won't last forever, but again, I have some. Hopefully I'll never need it. But my wife needs me. My wife needs our resources. I think I've become redundant in this video. So anyway, so that's my prepping video, since I haven't made one in quite a while. I hope I don't sound like a chipmunk in this thing. I made a video recently and I sounded like a chipmunk. But look, if we had to survive by hunting, by collecting wild plants for food, we could do that. We are in a position where we could do that. I just wouldn't want to be right here because there are people that know who we are and where we live that don't like us, and we don't like them either, but we're not going to go and commit violent acts against them, even though they commit violent acts on a regular basis against each other mostly, but because they know where we live. I wouldn't be comfortable with us being here if that kind of situation came about. uh, you know, anyway, I don't know what else to say.